remember years ago when you first started making these videos? I do. This is the team you picked, huh? Hi, kids. Victorious puppies. This team is ruining my life. Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief. Okay. We can, and we will. Leafs win 2-1 is what I could have told you, but they literally exploded. You know what the hardest part about making a video about a loss is? Starting. Literally start turning the camera on. I didn't even want to make this video today. I didn't even want to talk about this. I didn't, and I wasn't going to, but luckily, the coffee is good. The coffee is good. It's quite good. Thank you, Timothy's, for helping me cope with my feelings. It helps me wash away the bitter taste of defeat, so coffee. And for those of you wondering, no sugar. Well, sometimes sugar. It depends, alright? I thought I needed it today. I thought I needed it. Last night was hard. And I'm sure it was hard for you too, but I just want you to know, you can handle it. Alright, let's talk about that mess of a game. And besides coffee, something really helped me get this video done. You guys are very important. I hope you know that. I asked for questions. I always ask for questions. That's not new. I asked for LFR questions. What do you want to ask in this LFR? And we might as well focus on that before we talk about the entire game, because it feels like there is no point in talking about the entire game when they blew the thing in less than 3 minutes. I didn't even want to get out of bed, let alone put on clothes, go downstairs, and turn this camera on. But I got a question that was a eureka moment for me. I figured it out. From Frank Anthony Marella. Where does this season rank out of all the LFR seasons? Feels like this season is the most painful. This one's brutal. This one's real bad. This one's tough. And I compare it to the 11-12 season. Now, if you've been watching these LFRs for a while, or if you read my book, you know that by the end of the 11-12 season, I didn't even want to make these videos anymore, and I considered stopping, seriously. Like, 11-12, the wheels really fell off the wagon. It was the first of many. They collapsed that season. 2013, they ended up making the playoffs because the season was shortened, and they collapsed. And then 13-14, oh, did they collapse? And 14-15, you better believe that's a battling. The 07-08 season was the first season that I did, and the Leafs were bad. And that sucked, but I had this fun new thing I was trying. 08-09, they were really bad, and 9-10, they were horror awful. But in 10-11, you sort of knew what to expect, and they were taking steps, okay. In 11-12, because of the beginning of the season, because of the trend with the team, I thought, hey, it's onwards and upwards. They're going to be great. And they were so garbage by the end of the season, it just felt like I had the whole soul sucked out of me. Like, hey, my day's going fine. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, puck drop, I'm dead. This is very similar. Things are better. Look at the guys on the team. It's a very good team, I think. At least some of the individuals on the team, maybe with a few tweaks. And that's the problem! But here was my eureka moment. We thought this was linear. 16-17, miracle run to the playoffs. We had no idea they were going to pull that off, and they had such a fun 6-game series against the Caps. Next year, they kill it in the regular season. Not so much in the playoffs, and they had another heartbreak against Boston, but the progress was there. Last year, they get Jake Muzzin, holy smokes, and then the wheels completely fall off the wagon due to injuries, and then they run into Boston in the playoffs again. This is going to go poorly. Wow, they look really good. They look really good. You realize the Leafs had 3 series leads before playing their worst game by far? And now we're in whatever the hell muck this season is. Oh, they're not even going to make the playoffs and this, that, and the other. Can I ask a question? What do you want? Because I'm supposed to be doom and gloom guy. I'm, yelly screamy man, okay? I'm the one who loses their mind. And then the Leafs have 3 bad minutes and I'm looking at my phone like, y'all need Jesus. Like, did you expect them to go 82-0? Of course not. No, you're not ridiculous. Well, what'd you expect them to go undefeated under Keith? No, you proclaim out loud. Yes, we absolutely freaking did! You scream inside your tortured mind. Do yourself a favor, seriously, for you. I care for you. Self-care. We're gonna do a little LFR self-care now. That's what LFR stands for. What? Listen, stop thinking about the playoffs. Stop it! Stop it! It's December 13th. Stop. Listen, I hated that they lost that game too, but why is it a reset every time they lose. They just beat the Canucks, a Canadian team. That's always fun, and they only play there once a year. And the game before that, they beat the brakes off the reigning Stanley Cup champions. And not to be all Kyle Dubas about this, but why does everything got to be a referendum against this team? What do you think they're going to allow 3 goals on 3 shots? Do you think Freddie is going to allow 3 goals on 3 shots every game for the rest of all time? And another thing, stop talking about they need X amount of points to make the playoffs. It isn't true. The one I keep hearing thrown out there is they need 98. Nope. Last year, they had 98. That's how they made the playoffs. Good for them. The Colorado Avalanche made it with 90. 90! The Canadians had 6 more points. 3 more wins than the Colorado Avalanche, who look amazing right now, didn't even make the playoffs. Well, all right, what do we got to do to make the final wild card? Here's the scary thing. The Philadelphia Flyers are currently in the final wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. They have 39 points in 31 games, over 82 games. That is a pace of, for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, 103 points. Oh my God! Sell the whole team, nothing matters. There's no way they're gonna make that. How are we even talking about them getting a top 3 spot in the Atlantic? They're not even gonna make the final wild card. Oh my God, forget about the wild card. Hey, just for fun, who's 3rd place in the Atlantic right now? Oh yeah, it's Montreal. Of course it's Montreal. Philadelphia's on pace for 103 points. What are they on pace for, 150? Let's do a little bit of math. The Habs have 36 points in 32 games. That is a pace of 92. The Metro's that good? And you want to hear something more amazing? I have inside sources, okay? This is a little benefit of being an industry insider, okay? The Flyers could go on a losing streak. The Habs could go on a win streak. I could get hit by a bus right now. The bus could drive into the house. I don't know. Oilers fans like, no, why couldn't he have gotten hit by a bus during our video? Freaking relax. The Flames won their division last year, sucked under Bill Peters to start this one, and now they're undefeated over Jeff Ward, which won't maintain, by the way. I don't want to be a typical downer or a Toronto media type just poo-pooing Alberta teams, but something tells me they won't win 50 consecutive games. Life is about ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Why are you so miserable during losses when you don't even celebrate wins? Since when did I become the face of sanity for this fan base? And the answer lies in the question that was asked. What is wrong with this season? What feels different about this one? We all thought this was going to be linear. It's okay. We'll deal with the loss to Washington. We understand what it means, and it was close. It's okay. We'll deal with the loss to Boston because the regular season was much better. Okay, we'll deal with this most recent loss to Boston because, I don't know, I guess we just have to. And we dealt with the Nylander contract saga, and we'll deal with the Marner contract saga, and all right, we've now dealt with it. Let's go, let's ride all the way to first place in our first Stanley Cup in over half a century! It doesn't work like that. It was never going to work like that. But we all thought it would. And I'm not getting high and mighty about it. I'm not better than you. I was screaming at the television just like you were. My wife hates me. The dogs too. The only reason they say hi in the morning is because I feed them. Frederik Andersen has allowed something like 800 or 900 goals over his NHL career. He had in the playoffs probably 1,000. Not many of those 1,000 goals came in 3 goals and 3 shots. I'm mad about it. It sucks. I wanted them to get the 2 points. It blows that they blew away the 2 points. But can we actually compose ourselves and prepare for Saturday? The only thing about allowing 3 goals and 3 shots is I worry that maybe this is the result that happens when you play your goalie too bloody much. But even a fatigued goalie is probably not going to often allow 3 goals on 3 shots to start a period that his team is winning. Here's what is worth mentioning. Mitch Marner and John Tavares, oh my goodness, they're finally going. For like the first time this season, they're finally going. Hey, they're really struggling. They have Kapanen there in that role. It's not working. The line wasn't good. And they look like they might finally be getting good. They're trying a couple things. Oh, John Tavares broke his finger. Shoot. But it's okay. It's okay. A few games off and now he's back. Okay, good. He's back. And now a little bit of, oh, Marner's hurt as well. Didn't Zach Hyman just get back? I didn't even mention that he was gone off the top. Then Sheldon Keefe becomes the coach. Mitch Marner comes back and he breaks the lineup. What? Now this whole line is clicking. They look great. I thought Ilya Mikheyev had one of his best offensive nights in over a month. I think Pierre Engvall is he is a legitimate NHL player. If he plays another game in the American Hockey League, Kyle and I need to have words. But man, We finally got Riley Berry together. We need better out of that pairing. I don't know if Riley's been good in the defensive zone all season long. I still think he might be hurt. Tyson Barrie. Dude, the Leafs were looking at moving him, and then they let go of Babcock. Keefe comes in. He scores 3 goals in 3 games. They get him going. That was the mission. They get him going. We need more. We need more. You want 8 times 8? You need more. You need so much more. Everyone talks about Muzzin like this great defensive stalwart. Man, that guy makes some funny choices. And I'm not going to dump on Cody Ceci. It's just way too easy to do. The 3 guys I named before him are supposed to be the Leafs' 3 best defensemen. And they're just not good enough in their own end, especially. Jason Spezza, man. We've gone to bat for you all season long. And I love what you bring offensively. You're way too experienced to be making the mistakes you do. And I can deal with one. I can deal with the odd one, but this is all the time. Like, I think he should be in the lineup more than he isn't, but I'm looking at last night and going, I don't know, what's Goat up to? I saw a bunch of people criticizing Sheldon Keefe for not calling a timeout after the 3-2 goal. I mean, it's a legitimate beef, but I'm going to say he probably had more faith in his team. He probably thought, well, it's not often they allow 2 goals on 2 shots. He didn't think 3-3 was coming. And every time he takes the timeout, he's got this little smirk going, and he's got his hands like this, because this team needs to calm the hell down. And this is his mission. This is his mission for the rest of the season. No one player, no one trade is going to get this team right in the head. They buckle far too often. And good on them for drawing 2 penalties out of Calgary there, getting the 5-on-3. What did they do with it? Gotta give huge credit to Calgary's penalty kill. I thought they were fantastic in this one. Mark Giordano with a huge block. Big save Dave. Dave Rittich looked great. Matthews hit the post. I mean, come on. And that doesn't even count as a shot on goal, but if that goes in, who knows? It's a different game, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, the Leafs would have had a cup in the last half-century. If you thought this team was going to be instantly fixed under Sheldon Keefe, I got news for you. Pain's coming. And I gotta tell you, maybe the most encouraging part of this game was Mitch Marner's reaction afterwards. When this team lost under Babcock, they used to look dejected, frustrated, tired. Now when they lose, they're angry, they're disappointed, and only in themselves. They're not sad because they're going to get chastised. They're mad at themselves because they blew it. They're starting to hate losing almost as much as we do. And now your shot at redemption is tomorrow, the end of the Western Canadian road trip, hockey night in Canada, Saturday night against the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. Come on, you wanted that McDavid money, right? Your name's on the contract. Your name's on the paycheck. Put your name on the score sheet enough, you just might put it on something else. Not that one in particular, that one's mine. By the way, you know that's not the old popcorn maker, right? This is the Easter Seals one, baby. We won this. We did! Mwah! And remember a video a while back, really not that long ago, where I was like, you know, I'm disappointed because we've only raised about $7,000 and I just thought we'd raise more and I'm disappointed in myself. I think I did this wrong, that wrong. We ended up raising over $100,000. Almost all of which came after that, by the way. I was whining about, oh, we've only raised $7,000, and I think our final total was somewhere around $104,000, $105,000. Nothing feels better than having a problem and solving it, but in order to do that, you gotta have a problem first. Luckily, the Leafs got one. What a beautiful opportunity. Questions. Will there ever be a rainbow by Steve What? What? Man, what is wrong with you, Leaf? Wait, Evan, you're a Penguins fan, man! Starting flat when the puck drops is a theme with this team. Who's responsible? Who is supposed to charge these guys up? Do we have anyone that gets the team jacked up and ready to play? Is someone sucking the life out of the team? Well, I think someone was sucking the life out of the team. They're gone now. I'm still not totally satisfied with their starts, but the Leafs starts are so much better under Keefe. I think they're outscoring opponents something like 14-3 or something like that with Sheldon Keefe at the helm. The problem in this one was the beginning of the third period. I don't think that's a getting jacked or motivated thing. I think that's an attention to detail. The team looked a little lost, and under Keefe, sometimes they do. They look like they have it figured out, and then sometimes the puck gets into a situation where they're like, and they're fighting all their instincts because they don't know what's going on. That and Freddie should have stopped at least one of those, let's face it. I'm not as worried about their motivation. I think they'll be okay in that regard. This one was attention to detail. It is an ongoing progress, but it's one that has been getting noticeably better over the last dozen games. Why do losses like this happen? They lost the game in 3 minutes! Because life isn't fair and the universe doesn't give a single gosh darn about how you feel. That's it. That's it. Whoa, you think it's a hockey reason? No, it happens, man. Why? Why not? Well, sometimes they answer themselves. Are the Calgary Flames for real? Okay, Calgary fans, this is gonna serve as an if I were you segment. First of all, the Calgary Flames are for real. They look unreal. Dave Rittich, they're for real and they look unreal. Dave Rittich, big save Dave, I think is better than people give him credit for. Johnny Gaudreau is alive, and by proxy, Sean Monahan is also alive. This team just looks motivated. They look relaxed. They look more alive than they have in a long time. Obviously, Bill Peters needed to be fired because of XYZ. It sounds like he wasn't a very good coach to play for. But I'm gonna tell you what I've said on the podcast several times. If none of the stories about Bill Peters have come out, if none of them had come out, and he was Mr. Rogers, he was just the greatest guy ever, he still should have been very fired and a very long time ago. Let's ignore international competition. That's just a different beast than a full season. In his final season as head coach of the Spokane Chiefs, he won the championship. He won the WHL. Wow, that's great for him. As a professional coach, here's his record over the last decade. Head coach of Rockford, out in round 1. Head coach of Rockford, out in round 1. Head coach of Rockford, out of the playoffs. Assistant with Detroit, out in round 1. Assistant with Detroit, out in round 2. Look at you go. Assistant with Detroit, out in round 1. Head coach of Carolina, out of the playoffs, out of the playoffs, out of the playoffs, out of the playoffs. Wins the division with the Calgary Flames, lost in round 1. He won a championship in the WHL in 2008, and that's great, good for him. But since then, in his professional coaching career, he hasn't done a thing. And then to hear all the nonsense he was pulling meanwhile? No wonder. So yes, the Flames are for real, and the league is now on notice. One final thing, I said I was going to do a book signing. Guess what? It's on Sunday, and it's going to be at Yonge Dundas. Yonge and Dundas. It's not like Dundas is young. Why don't I just show you this? At the new Rogers flagship, that's 302, meet Steve Dangle. That's me. That's going to be from 1 to 2 p.m. Once again, Yonge and Dundas. If you want to get your book signed, maybe for yourself, maybe for someone ahead of Christmas, that is probably going to be your last chance to do so. It's right in the heart of downtown Toronto. Super easy to get to. I'd love to see you. I'm going to be there. Daryl Sittler's going to be there. Wendell Clark is going to be there. And I just learned Curtis Joseph is going to be there. So even if you don't care about me, maybe take a visit because those guys have actually done stuff. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe. If you really liked it, tell all your friends. Just be cool to people. It's hockey, dude. Once again, the new Rogers flagship that's at Yonge and Dundas Square. Gonna be there from 1 to 2. Some guy named Daryl Sittler, some guy named Wendell Clark, and some guy named Joseph Curtis, I think. He'll be there too. Possibly with a mask. Oh, and look in the description down below. There's some Timothy's goodies. The coffee can be good for you too.